What's up everyone, Steve here again, and it's part 2 for the Demon SG4C. Now this is the flagship model. There are several models. This is part 2. Go watch part 1 if you haven't. In part 1 we built the lower chassis here. Everything's connected up, the lower links, all that kind of good stuff. And one thing I didn't say in the beginning, I actually snapped this. This is plastic. This is one downside to this kit. For the price, I think this front bar would be metal or aluminium, but that's all right. That's an easy fix. Now, what we have here is bead lock. Now these are true aluminium wheels. Now the bead lock, oh, there goes one. You have an inner and an outer bead which squashes the tyre together and it seals it up really nice. So, for example, here are our tyres by the way. Now they're dual inserts. They have foam and they have another layer inside. So they've got two inserts there. So that's interesting. So basically what you do, you put your, like any bead lock, put your middle or your rim in there. You got to work it way around it, you know, kind of play with it a little bit, you know, just like that until you get it, the bead sitting where it needs to be. Now, the whole point of a bead lock is it locks the beads, outer bead, so it locks it in and squashes it down. Now, with these, they need to be in this channel right there. Now let me just get it to where I can actually show you and make sense, because a lot of you guys might be talking about it. You'll be like, what the hell is he on about? So basically the bead of the tyre needs to go in this channel, and then once that's in there, this outer bead, the bead locks it in place and causing it not to spin or it come out. Like if you had glue ties, it can always pop off. Now you have outer, and then also goes with your inner bead there too, just like that. So you have an inner and outer. On this car, the outside is going to be the black one, inside of the rim is a silver one. So you can see the machining of these wheels. They look really nice, don't they? Chamfered edges, black and silver combination. It looks really cool. Now you also get a fifth tyre, sorry. Now this one is just plastic. It comes in that just like a grey colour. I've actually painted them, and it goes in like that. It's got a decorative little hub, but I've just painted that at the moment. That'll be black, and that just goes on the back of the bed. So yeah, it's kind of, this one it requires you to glue, but I'm probably not even going to be using it, so I just friction fit in there just like that. But this one only has one of those what are they called? Tyre inserts, so it's a bit squashy, but these other ones have two, so interesting. But let me get these in now. Look, if you want to watch a bead lock video, go maybe search something else, but they're not exciting at all, and it's tedious, and I'll probably start swearing, and I'll probably start throwing, you know what, and I'll probably snap some bits. But anyway, because it says here there are 48, is that 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 24, well there's a lot. It says 48 screws, and each of those screws have to be thread locked. Yippee-ki-yay! Oh, that was not fun. There is the spare wheel, that was the easiest. But here are the actual rims and tyres themselves. I guess the effort paid off. They do look absolutely amazing, in my opinion anyway. But yeah, they do look cool. So next step, you have to actually attach them to the car, and that's just like any normal car. To finish it off, you have these caps that you put on the outside. Once you actually put your actual wheel nut on, you attach these with another 5 of those screws, and yeah, how about, no, I'm not doing that now, but that can be done later. I like to put them all on now, make sure the car runs fine, and then when everything's all happy days, we can use that. But here are our hexes. Beefy as well, and just like any normal car, going to put a pin through there and lock these away, and then we'll get them on the car, and then that'll be a roller technically, and just like that we have a roller, and it looks hunky-dory as it should. Ties you in a nice, all the same direction, which is a plus. This will go on later when we do the rear of the cap. Now it says step 30, getting all the electronics ready. We can do that later on in the build. Next step, we are going to, it looks like, start getting the rear tray, the open tray that it has, that makes this look pretty sweet, or this section just here. So get all that plastic ready, and requires some gluing. Okay, so I decided to move inside because it's too hot in the garage to actually do any of this now. Step 31, you started making the bed, and it is all plastic, and what you need to also do is you need to glue these, like, what are they, sponsons on the side. So this is the bottom of it, so that's the top like that. So you've got to actually glue these on with obviously some plastic cement, and yeah, put it all together. There's a nice little light. It doesn't actually have a light though, even though it says it has a light. Maybe that's for the lower model, I'm not too sure. But that's it, that's how it looks when you put it all together. Now next step, I'm not going to go in depth to how to put the plastic together because it's a bit too time consuming, but next step you have all these nice little checker plated panels, peel that protective coating on, and then you got this 3M tape that's pre-cut. So I'll put all that on, and that's how it looks. It ended up looking pretty cool. So it's just basic double-sided tape with these little checker plates on there. And it's just, yeah, it holds down very well. It doesn't go anywhere. It's true 3M tape as well. So next up, you're just adding some of these accessories, like this, the little cages that hold. Well, there's one here. Cages that hold the little dummy fuel tanks. Dummy fuel tanks here. It says you got to put them together, but with this Pro model, maybe they just come together like that, and they just go in there. And you also get little cool plastic bands, like they're same colour as that, to tie it down to the actual holder there. Pretty cool. Next up, you know, you just got to put together the wooden boxes. You can always, or whatever they are, the crates, you can always paint that. It's going to be black at the moment, and then putting the roll cage together and putting it on there. Nothing too exciting. Yeah, everything is nicely labelled. So far so good. Only with this kit I've had issues with, I think, what was that screw, 111, I think the 18mm screws. Everything else so far is here, so I'll put this together, and let's see how it looks. And just like that, there we go. Now I'm going to leave the cab that colour. I think it looks pretty cool. Can always paint it later on, but I don't mind this kind of grey primer look. And the instruction manual is saying you have to put them together, but it doesn't. It comes with the C version of Flagship already put together. Now that's step 37. I'll show you the previous step. This is the rear deck. It's all plastic apart from this. This is aluminium tubing. Looks pretty cool, pretty straightforward to put together. Now step 38, it's very intricate. It's about putting the dash together, and the dash actually has a LED light system, and that is, this is the key that you get. Now that is this cluster of 3 LEDs just there. So that goes behind the dash and illuminates it, which I think is pretty ingenious. So you needed to get it looking all schmick. The dash was that kind of that resin kind of colour, so you need to paint that up, which I did, and you also need to paint up this top part of the dash as well. And all these other parts are black, and it's going to be gluing a lot of this stuff together. So yeah, I'm not going to bother with that, but I'll show you when it's completed, otherwise it's just too boring. Right, now there is a dash. Now doesn't that look cool? I love how, if you can see how those dials are behind the glass type thing. It looks awesome. It's actually got like a little Perspex panel. The sticker sticks on that panel, and then the light underneath shines through. Pretty sweet. That's just a sticker, little navigation console there, but the steering column and the steering wheel is stuck on, and also this back piece is stuck as well underneath, so that forms the actual dashboard. The front light setup is here, and there are the lights in there as well. It requires 2 screws here to put it in, but these top, sorry, I think the top ones, yeah, the top 2, this one doesn't really do anything, it's just spinning freely, but the bottom 2 are grabbed and they're in there solid. Now before, I think I was saying, there was mention that in the back of the back light there, underneath there's LED, and it says in the kit that it comes with. I couldn't find it. The thing is actually attached to this cluster, so there is the back light. Now it's going to run underneath through those little sponsons, whatever you want to call them, to meet up with that little backlight. So that's easy, no big deal there, but next step, we've got to start putting all this stuff inside the cab itself. Here it is here. Looks pretty cool. it's got to install, I think it's part of, we've got the roll cage here, it's like a internal roll cage, all that kind of stuff. There's some other components as well. Here we go. These bits here. Now these are actually aluminium as well. You can hear them clicking together, so they're going to go inside as well. But yeah, wow, it's a very tedious process, that's for sure. Definitely really hard to film everything, but there you go. There's all the instructions. You need glue and all that kind of stuff. And interesting, on step 41 it tells you to glue in the little magnets, but the little neodymium magnets are already installed for the catch, so the bonnet doesn't flop around in the breeze. So I'll get stuck on all this and see in a bit. Well, there it is, guys. Now, if I told you I didn't swear, I'd be lying. Some of these little parts are really difficult to get in, maybe because it's my large fingers, but that's about it. But once you get a bit of patience, it all goes together really nice. You can see the dash and everything looks really cool. You've got to glue in all the windows, the rear window here, a lot of these little markers on the side, the revision mirror, the side mirrors, these ones as well, the little accents on the side. A lot of them are friction fit, like push in, like it recommends to glue these, but you can just leave them in. It's just a really nice friction fit. The hood is here and it's held down via magnets, and it's got a little latch. You do need to glue it because you can see this one here. So just a dab of super glue will do, because it's the, get out of the light there, but the magnet actually attaches to these 3 screws that you attach the front bumper to, and you've got these little what are they, like brackets, and it just stays in there. Pretty cool. Really nice. I actually like this colour, the stock colour, but it's looking pretty cool, eh? Next step is attaching the rear deck, the rear part, to the actual chassis, and just, I think that's around about it. Oh, ESC is obviously got to solder that up, and then you can put that little makeshift cover on the top, and then on you go with your main actual part of the chassis there, the main shell onto the chassis, and that's it. Oh, the rear bumper, but nothing too drastic. Now I've got to solder this up, get that ready, and make sure that all works, because I haven't checked if it works yet, but so far so good. Nearly there. Now look at that, guys. The body is on and everything, and it's pretty much ready to go. Only thing I haven't put on is a snorkel, because the snorkel goes on the side here, but there's no little indentations on either side to tell you where to drill. Now I don't want to damage the body yet, so you know, I don't have as much patience as it is at the moment, so I might do that later on and get like a little way to mark it and maybe drill it out. But there it is in all its glory. Now it's a little bit of a rat's nest in here at the moment, because there is also an engine cover that goes on top, and that's this guy. Pretty much goes, you know, and that cover kind of covers everything. You can put that on later, kind of thing. That covers the top just there, but with this brusher set up, it's pretty bulky, especially with this sensor cable, how it's all nice in that kind of waterproof connector. But you get the idea. This kind of goes down there, and it'll close up. But looks pretty sweet. Now once I figure out all that wiring, it should be okay. But let's just have a little bit of an overview. The one thing I noticed, that you need to run like a little shorty pack or a similar size battery. This is just a little 2200 milliamp, just to check that everything works. But as you can see, it looks damn good. Now one thing that I did come across is that when you're putting in this bumper bar, this is only plastic, it actually cracked this side mount. So I've got to glue that back together, or maybe get another option for a actual metal front bumper. But even in this grey colour, the stock colour that it comes in, I think it looks awesome. I actually like it. I might actually maybe rust it up a bit, make it look a bit beaten and all that kind of stuff. But overall, it's pretty good. Now this kit, I don't know if I'd recommend it for the first kit, because it has some challenges. Like I mentioned, some of the screws were missing. I think the 18mm screws were missing. And just like to line up the body, you got these 2 small holes here to actually mount the body to the front of the chassis. Now those need to be kind of adjusted. You need to adjust the little bumper bar to make it sit flat, and line up all the holes, everything like that. What else? Oh, just basic trimming of the plastic parts. You know, they're off a sprue, so you've got to trim it. Kind of things like that. all the metal and everything's nice. These are all aluminium. These are aluminium. The roll cage inside is plastic, but beware, there's a lot of gluing as well with all that plastic, because you can see inside there's actually plastic and metal, so it's got like an actual metal, maybe you can see it better on this side, a metal gear shifter just in there, like a low and high gear, and a normal transmission gear stick as well. But everything looks pretty cool. Now what I'll do, I'll actually turn it on. Now before I do that, let's just show you underneath. So that's how it's looking underneath. It's actually really heavy as well. It's definitely heavier than I think any other crawler that I have, maybe with exception to the TFL Bronco, which has got an all metal cage. So I'll turn it on. Now like I said, we'll clean all this up later in another video, but if I turn it on, check out that. Doesn't that look sweet? The lights are super bright, and it's got its own little LED for the turn signals. Now they don't actually change, you know, left or right. It's just lights them up. But what's really cool about this kit is, check this out. How cool is that? Illuminated dial. Now I'll turn one of these lights off, and I'll turn the other one off so you get a better look at inside it. Oh, and there's a rear LED as well, so garage lights are off. But that looks pretty sweet if you ask me. That's just a servo going off, so it's centered properly. I'm just with the basic radio here. But yeah, there's a rear light. Yeah, and the front. So overall, super happy with it. Yeah, a little bit of a more challenging build, but very rewarding as well. Like, just look how awesome it looks, and check out this flex at the back. That's some pretty decent flex. It's more than my hand under it, so it's actually damn good if you ask me. Yeah, that's quite considerable. Now this setup in here is a brushless setup. It's really, really good. Brushless censored motor. So yeah, and look at that, look at the front. So if I put my hand under there and I'll lift it until the back starts to lift, just about there. So that's pretty impressive. And like I mentioned, the weight will be good for crawling. It's got a lot of the weight is down low as well. It's not really top heavy. It's very, very, all the weight is at the bottom, so that's also a good thing for crawling. But what do you guys think? I think it looks impressive. Overall, very happy with it. Hopefully the next videos you'll see it on the crawl. Sorry you didn't see me put together all these little finicky things. You would obviously hear me swearing at the same time as well. I don't have much patience for small parts anymore, but if you like the video, guys, give it a good old thumbs up. If you haven't, please subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you get notified of all the good stuff. And if you have this and you have issues, or just let me know how good it is, or what have you changed. I think there's a lot of people are missing screws as well, so that's interesting. So hopefully Cross RC, if you're watching this, maybe that's something you need to check out, because yeah, I've heard that there are several grub screws missing, and also that 18mm screw that I was missing. So I'm glad I'm not the only one. I do like how it has all of these metal latches and all that kind of stuff. It just takes a little bit of finessing to make all this wire look pretty, get everything seated. I wanted to turn it all on for make sure my soldering actually is all up to par, it's all working and everything's plugged in as it should. And there's also a third channel, but on this just cheap radio I couldn't find a third channel to activate the winch. So it's got a winch here that's you can use. It's got a little winch controller just here. So pretty damn sweet. Overall, I'm happy with it, and yeah, hope you enjoyed the 2 video build series, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.